Hey there, my name is Marshall. Welcome back to another video. Today, I want to talk about the unspoken and therefore habitual fear that has a grip on, I think, most people, including myself. And this fear manifests in many different environments. Like in a corporate environment, people are going to be watching what they say, really trying to, just keep their jobs and stuff. All this kind of, people pleasing, we'll call it. Because people pleasing just means you're insecure about something, or you're anxious. You're afraid of something. You're afraid of a need not being met. That's what you're afraid of. You're afraid of that. And if it means just kind of like being alert and being anxious all the time to get what you need, then that's what you're going to do. But maybe this fear is killing us in a way. That's the case I want to make today. That fear kills. That fear is not true. If you know what I'm saying. If you're compensating, if you're people pleasing, or all this kind of stuff, if you're so afraid of risk, if you're so afraid of risk, you will never rise up. You will never, they say high risk, high reward. You will never get reward. Really, you won't get more than what is necessary for you to just survive, which is good, but not really as good as it should be, you know what I mean? We should be growing and doing all this kind of stuff, right? So this hidden fear that kind of keeps people locked away in so many different ways, I think is just terrible. Because for one example of why this is killing us in a way, killing us is a way of putting it, but an interesting way of putting it. But take, for example, eye contact. Eye contact, that's just something you do between people. If you're having a conversation with somebody, that's, I want to say, almost like a respectful gesture of attention, of listening. It's a respectful thing. And even walking down the street, just acknowledging people. And I get it, right? You don't have to be a social butterfly or anything. Trust me, I don't think anybody should be forced to do that. Trust me. But there's just it feels like people are afraid. That's what it feels like to me. It feels like people don't ever want to step out of whatever sort of comfort zone that they think they're in. I don't know if it's a lack of energy. I don't know what it is, but I think I just think you lose out on life that way. I think if you're not failing, then that's fine. And the funny thing is, let's take social anxiety as an example here, which is something I totally still struggle with. So I'm preaching to myself here, is really all this video is. But if you think about what social anxiety really is, it's really just you perceiving that someone else perceives you in a way that isn't ideal for some reason. So you're worried about something that you don't really have that much control over, and even if you did have all the control over that, which you kind of do and don't at the same time, if you know what I'm saying. Like you have all the control within yourself to be who you want to be. I'm doing a terrible job explaining this, but what I'm saying is that there's only so much you can do. Like, you just have to try and be your best. You have to try and make things the best for everyone around you, and then therefore have nothing to fear. Because if you're actively doing your best, let's say in some social setting, in the context of social anxiety, if you're just if you're being true and you're doing well and you're helping other people perhaps, and just like making a good life out of yourself, if you know that you are doing these things, then you have nothing to fear. Because any sort of judgment that's external is not going to align with your might not align with your values. You should take criticism and everything seriously, but just once you kind of realize this, you can be just pure. There's no distance between what you're saying and what you think needs to be said, is the beautiful thing. If I'm trying to express an idea like I am now, I can just speak. I don't have to worry about political correctness or all this kind of all these, like, it's really just ideologies and stuff that we just happen to believe, I think. And if you're being true and you're being right, there's nothing to fear. So just keep that in mind. Thanks for watching.